the Border Patrol and the Chinese Exclusion Act during the early 1900s. The early 1900s was an era of innovation and financial stability. People had started making more, and small businesses had risen to industrial-sized companies. This allowed for more leisure time for Americans, which was used in a variety of ways. But soon after this initial period of peace and prosperity, World War I broke out in Europe, which called for an increase in national surveillance. At the same time, there was a rise in immigration to America. From all over the world, people were immigrating to America for the economic prosperity that it would provide. There were also Chinese immigrants who, despite the Chinese Exclusion Act, would secretly cross the Mexican borders to come into America. After putting up with several years of this, Chinese Inspector Frank W. Berkshire would find it no longer ignoble and write to the Bureau of Immigration about the situation, proposing a group of men that would form the Border Patrol. After several series of meetings, the Border Patrol would finally be established on May 28, 1924. But before then, there was a small group of people called mounted watchmen who would go around watching the border. The earliest these people would operate was 1904, but these people often proved ineffective as they only patrolled when resources allowed, which was often randomly, and they never had more than 75 people to surveil the border at max. They would work out of El Paso, Texas, to as far as California watching the border, and would soon work alongside mounted guards in 1915, which provided some help patrolling the border, but mostly worked at inspection stations. Back to May 28, 1924, the newly enacted Border Patrol would provide enough men and supplies to carefully watch the border, and for the first time, the Border Patrol would operate regularly and be able to provide necessary protection to the border. This would provide more protection to America from the illegal Chinese immigrants who were trying to come over, ensuring that the Chinese Exclusion Act would remain in place with the effect of a more difficult border to cross.